to make sure it's perfect. Want to make sure it's perfect. Okay, so I feel like I can get started. Yes. Okay, that's perfect. Awesome. Okay, so I want to get started. And so, what's a super amazing thing? Maya actually gave me some very, very amazing questions from the last workshop. And I also did get like a question in regards to like the video AI. So I want to try to make sure I cover like everything that was asked for this particular workshop. And then what I'm going to do is then the next one, we're going to actually get into making stock footage for your products, making AI like products. Like I've made like whey protein, like AI whey protein packages and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, hold on. Oopsies. Oopsies. I have to reclaim host to share my screen. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. It's like, wait a second, I do need to host actually. Okay, so I'll host for this part and I'll just try my best to keep an eye out for anybody in the recording of this when y'all watch back. If you see I missed anybody in this time, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's move this along. And I'm going to present my screen to you guys. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. So let's check. Okay. So week 2 of AI prompting. And like I said, we're going to be actually like focusing on some really, really helpful questions because honestly, like Maya, you're the best. Like it is just brilliant. Some of the things that were asked because of course everybody needs to know about the copywriting of this. Like if we make this art, how much ownership do we have? Things like that. We're going to cover that today. Okay, I love my little AI images going on. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, ownership and copyright basics is what we're going to cover. Reselling AI creations, understanding licensing terms, and best practices for creators. Q&A. We're gonna create space. So if you have any questions, go ahead and like leave it to the end. And hold on. And conclusion and next steps is what we'll cover after that as well. So here we go. Moving along, some more AI images. And as you guys will see, like I'm going to be giving this out with the replay for the YouTube link. You're going to see this entire presentation is going to be included in that. I'm going to make sure that I always like provide the resources when I provide the video as well. I'm probably going to post it up tonight, the workflow is working really good. So, I could probably release all of this out tonight, which will be outstanding. Oh, and also when you do get this link, I want to go back to here. So you'll be able to then check out all the other Harmony workshops as well. So I love this image. It's so cute. It's so beautiful. Very unique features. We talked about that last time. Very diversify, actually like making different people. So as I'm teaching you guys a little thing or two, I want you guys to also take a look at these AI images that I input into this because I very much deliberately did that. Okay. Okay, so ownership and reselling. Generally, the creator of an AI generated work holds the initial ownership rights. However, if the AI was trained on copyrighted material or created under the direction of an employer, ownership can become more complex. It's crucial to review the terms of services of AI platforms and consult legal advice if needed. Super duper important as we like get into this is kind of like finding out who owns this art. Each platform is going to be completely different. I'm not a lawyer. I cannot give legal advice. I just got to put that out there. I got to put that little disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving no form of legal advice. Please go to your lawyer before you be setting up stuff. When it comes down to like an incorporation, if you're setting it up to sell under your sole proprietorship, make sure you do consult with, your legal team on that kind of stuff. Okay, so, oh, and like I said, I did want to also touch on the like video. I wanted to briefly talk about the video because I didn't want to sway too much focus from something that's actually extremely important, which is ownership. Okay. But I did want to mention about the video and I want to give you guys like a little pro tip. Okay. So video prompts require movement. Okay. So this is just going to be like a little pro tip. I think I'm going to incorporate these like pro tips throughout these like workshops too. Like just give you guys like a little pro tip off to the side. So we don't have to like solely focus on one thing, but we still like add a little focus to it. A shot list can enhance your creative direction. So by shot list, I'm talking about like if you were in film, like what is a shot list? You would go ahead and you get the angles, you would talk about the camera movement, you would talk about the lighting, you would talk about where is your actor or your item moving, how is it moving, what's going on. Incorporate all of that into your video prompts for things like Pika art, or if you have your Genmo and you're making text to video art. So make sure before you decide, you want to animate an image or if you want to make a text to video, this is the best tip is creating a shot list. And that will enhance your direction, but it will also then like really show you like, here I put CN Tower, the eagle, Amethyst Samaris into this. And it actually does, like when I put the direction that it's supposed to be at, if I go ahead and I put where the CN Tower, what if it's in the foreground or the background, all these things very much matter and they're very, very important to add to your shot list. So I just want to touch on that very, very quickly before we dig deep into the deeper stuff, the nitty gritty. So again, I love this like image, like, oh my gosh, so gorgeous, gorgeous. And again, we are not only redefining what people think of race, we're all not only redefining what people think of culture, we're also redefining what people think of gender, what people think of masculinity. Um, we live in a society where men can't express a very, very healthy masculinity, and they get to express that in a way through AI without all of societal's norms pushed onto it because it's not a model that has been taught that he can't look this way or can't dress this way or can't be perceived this way because he doesn't have that. He doesn't have those biases locked in on sexuality and fluidity, right? So in a way, we can actually kind of create a ripple effect of healthy masculinity by implementing it through our AI images and saying it is okay for men to look like this. It is beautiful for men to look like this. And it's okay to be gorgeous, straight and masculine, cis, whatever it is. And it is okay to be whatever gender you like, okay? As long as they are grown adults, right? Grown consenting adults, right? So, and again, we are just creating ripple effects into the AI. I can guarantee you men are looking at my AI images and now they're saying, I did like to carry myself this way, but I never felt comfortable in carrying myself this way. But I can see that this woman that is a woman's woman is very attracted still to this aspect of a man. Other women are very attracted to that as well. And it doesn't take away from their masculinity to thrive in this artistic and creative way. So nonetheless, that's what this image is really encapsulating, and what I really wanted to show by showing this particular image. Because when I look at this, I see masculinity, and if others see this and they don't see masculinity, then it just tells me a lot about them. But anyways, copyright considerations. Copyright protects original works of authorship, including AI generated content. The creator may hold the copyright unless it's a work made for hire or the rights are transferred. When reselling AI creations, ensure you have the necessary rights to do so, especially if the content contains copyrighted elements. So if we're using things like Canva does have like a premium tier, and you might be using some of their watermark content without realizing it if you have a membership. And that content you cannot resell as your own content. If it is generating AI for you on the Canva, they are using a copyrighted system. So no, you can't use the AI that is like on a Canva unless you make it your own. You know, how do you make it your own? There's so many ways to make art your very own and to be inspired of. Same way if we come down to music, I cannot take a person's song and then take that clip of that actual song and then mold it any way and say it's not a sample. Once I use that person's song, that is a sample. Same goes for art. Once I use that person's art, it is now sampling that person's art, and then you fall into copyright issues. But if you were to be then inspired by, and you started from scratch and you were inspired by and you kind of duplicated it, that's a whole different thing. When we talk about with Canva, if it is the text and not an actual image, then the text, say for my album cover Qualia, these are like image letters, but those would fall under the guise of fair use because they are letters. You know, they're being used as tools rather than being used as images. Okay. And if I'm losing you on anything, please, 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 please let me know because I move fast. Today's the 13th day, so I did 13 slides for this presentation. Okay, making sure that I double check to make sure that nobody is being left out. I love the features and how the freckles came out on these two people. Again, what I'm saying here about rediscovering masculinity, rediscovering gender. Um, I'm a two-spirit person. I don't even look at gender the same way that people look at gender. I've never looked at it that way. I feel an energy in me that doesn't understand what people are saying when it comes down to gender. So these images perfectly encapsulate that. Okay, so platform specific copyright, as we mentioned before. So copyright laws may vary across platforms, and each may have its own terms of use regarding AI generated content. AI generated content. Yeah, I'm sorry, reading that double. Some platforms may claim ownership of content created on their platforms, while others may grant creators more autonomy. Be sure to review the terms and conditions of each platform before publishing or reselling AI generated content works. Okay, so let's just be careful. Let's just be super careful and read the terms and conditions beforehand. Let's not get bamboozled out of our art and give these people all of our intellectual property, and then we're out. We're out because we basically gave them all the rights to our stuff. Always read the stuff. Okay, moving along. Ooh, I love this image so much. I really, 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 really like this image. Um, here. Ooh, I'm sorry, I might be turning off my camera every now and then because I'm getting like little warnings. So don't mind me if you see the camera going in and out, getting like warnings. My computer's like, I can't handle this greatness. So when I send this off, and you see it, with the video and the resources and everything like that, you'll be able to also join my broadcast channel, Harmony Workshop, that is on Instagram. And here we are as well. I just love this image. I just love it. You know, I put Wampe Luta from Dusk Till Dawn for this one, I believe, and this image came out. Wasn't really specific about it, but this image came out of that, and it makes me really happy inside because he's gorgeous. Okay, so we're gonna close down my screen for a little bit just so I can like zoom in and like read this part because I want to be able to read. I want to be able to read. Okay, so when creating unique works for sale, artists and authors should pay close attention to the terms and conditions of platforms or services they use. Here are some key terms to look out for. So I wanted to give you guys, it's so much to say, like, look at the terms and conditions, but then, like, how terrible would I be to tell you to go look at something you don't even know what to look for, right? That's just mean. Don't do that to people. Let's actually look for things. So ownership rights. Okay, look for the part in the clause that says ownership rights. Ensure that you retain ownership of your creative works. Look for terms that clarify that you retain the copyright to your content. Licensing terms. Understand. Oh, and the thing is when I zoom back in, I'm going to give you a chance, like in case you want to screenshot this, I'm going to give you a chance to do that. But just to read it better, I'm doing it like this. Okay, so licensing terms. Understand how your content will be licensed on the platform. Look for terms that specify whether you are granting the platform an exclusive or non-exclusive license to use your work and for what purposes. Revenue sharing. If the platform facilitates sales of your work, review the revenue sharing arrangement. So, for example, like for me, when I use SoundCloud as my distributor for my music, they have a revenue share that they're getting, and I get a percentage of that revenue share. That is a revenue share on my IPO, my intellectual property, not on my music. That is a completely different copyright. They get a revenue share for facilitating that revenue. Okay, so let's make sure that we're always looking how much money are they making off of your IPO. This is in even in one of my books, Vibrational Cure, I speak about it. IPO transparency. We have to talk to these platforms and say to them, give us some kind of transparency. Let me know how much money you're making off of me on the back end. Instagram is making money off of us on the back end. They are making money off of our data and everything that we put in on the back end. And we deserve a portion of that. We could actually all make a basic income off of the data that we are actually placing into these platforms and these DSPs. Okay, so, and then termination clause. Okay, so another example before I even get into that. Oh, let me I totally skipped over revenue sharing. If the platform facilitates sales of your work, review the revenue sharing arrangement. Look for terms that outline how revenue will be split between you and the platform, including any fees or commission. Okay. And then, sorry, I totally skipped over the distribution rights. So, distribution rights determine how your work will be distributed and whether you have control over where it is sold or displayed. Okay. And I was going to talk about OnlyFans. OnlyFans, I ended up being signed up to it in 2018 before people really caught on to what it was. And one of the things that ended up happening in 2020 was they changed their terms and services. And when I say check out terms and services, I'm not saying just go ahead and check it out one time. Anytime they change it, okay. This is something that I'm enduring with Pinterest right now. They changed their terms and services and they've now made virtually most of my like content that can in any way be considered risque down to just something of my back. They've now sexualized it and now they're deeming it not fit for their terms and services. So now they're literally taking my content down one by one. And this would have never happened a few years ago because it would have never been deemed sexualized. So sometimes what happens is certain people buy into these companies and they change the morality clause of each of these platforms, and it really deeply affects um, marginalized groups that are just sexualized in the first place or kind of like demonized in the first place. So things where somebody would go ahead and a white individual would post their hunting, for deer, right? And their content would be left alone. But if a black male posted a prop in a music video, his would be shut down right away, and he could even lose his account. You know, there are morality clauses that really affect marginalized groups first, and we have to kind of demand transparency on those things as well. Okay, so termination clause, understand the circumstances under which the platform can terminate your account or remove your content. Look for terms that outline the reasons for termination and any recourse available to you. So make sure you look at how they can terminate you, what you lose when you get terminated on all these platforms, right? Make sure you look, okay? Make sure you know your rights, okay? I had a few years ago, and it's so funny. It sounds like, it's like back to back, back to back. But I'm telling you, digital suppression is a real thing. And one of the things that I faced was my LinkedIn had been maliciously reported, and they terminated me for almost like 2 years. Okay. And I had to, this year, I wrote into them and I fought to get my LinkedIn back because it's really affecting my business not to have it. And if you look and see from some of my other videos, I actually released a lot of brilliant articles on LinkedIn that were very helpful tools for other people. And those tools were then gone because I was gone, right? So then they realized, you know what, let's let you back. And they did let me back. But that termination, like it can come out of nowhere, and it was literally because somebody was maliciously reporting me. So you don't want something like that to happen. Or if you're ignoring, say it said like you're making AI images and you're ignoring warnings when you're making AI images that don't match with their terms and surfaces, you might ignore it, and then look, all your stuff is terminated and you lost all of your stuff. Don't put yourself through it. Okay, so intellectual property protection. Ensure that the platform has measures in place to protect your intellectual property rights. Look for terms that address copyright infringement and how disputes will be resolved. Going back to the OnlyFans, OnlyFans changed their terms and services, and it literally said that they could distribute their content, for example, to say Pornhub, and I would have no say over it. I wouldn't even know about the transaction, right? So then I said, I got to terminate this because nope, I do not agree to these terms and services. So I never agreed to it. I never accepted it. And I just let my account go down. I let it go down. And that's sometimes what you got to do. United Masters, I distributed one project with them, and a lot of their rights and things like that changed where they were claiming more ownership over my project that I distributed with them. I have to let it go. Can't let them do that. I lost that one project in that regard, where I distributed with them, and now they own like 20% in the IPO, which is crazy. They do not deserve that amount. So I'm just like, screw you, Steve Stout. Anyways, privacy and data protection. Review the platform's privacy policy to understand how your personal information and data will be used. Look for terms that address data security and your rights regarding your personal information. This is so important. It is so important. Like, imagine if, God forbid, knocking on all of the wood, something were to happen and now someone else has to access your stuff, right? There's certain things that you want protected. I have an ex that passed, and his family got in control of his social media, and there's things in his personal life that it's none of his family's business. So legacy, blueprint, information, things that are dear to us, all of that should be protected. Our DNA should be protected. All of these things should be protected. Our privacy should be honored and protected. Do not let these platforms gaslight you into thinking that because you make certain information available, you should make it all available. That's They're gaslighting you. You do not have to make everything available. Nobody needs to know. Okay, everything. Okay, nobody needs to know. Okay, so by carefully reviewing and understanding these key terms in the terms and conditions of platforms or services, artists and authors can protect their rights and make informed decisions about where to sell their unique works. Okay, so again, we're going to briefly go over this over here. I'm going to present this onto you. You can screenshot it now. So again, that is ownership rights, licensing terms. Okay. Okay. Licensing terms, revenue sharing, distribution rights, termination clause, intellectual property protection, privacy and data protection. Okay. Look into this stuff because you are making agreement with each platform that you use. There's a reason why they have you sign things before you start using them. Read it, please read it because they are taking advantage of us. And like, it's crazy. Sometimes you might even you could get paid for using some of these platforms through affiliate marketing. Like I didn't read the affiliate marketing clause on OnlyFans, and I did not know that if I sent my affiliate link to one of my friends and they signed on, I could have been making royalties off of them this entire time. And I didn't know that because I didn't read that part. And so, like a year in, and I'm like, oh my God, I put all these people onto the platform. And my homegirl told me, she said, hey, girl, you didn't read that part of it? And I'm like, no, I didn't read that part of it, girl. No, I didn't. So, learning from mistakes. Okay. So, almost wrapping up, these images here, you're going to see they really correlate with Qualia that I have coming out on March 23rd, my birthday. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about next time. Here's some more AI images. And as you can see, like I said, the AI always comes out looking like who, right? So next time, what we're going to end up covering is developing new products with AI. Like I said, I literally made like stock images. And I can actually show you how to take your logo that you're going to have, and then you can put it onto these stock images. It's really, really amazing. You can make your own stock images, and this is all working with Canva and also working with Midjourney. Um, and I really, really think that you can kind of find inspiration, you can find essence. This blogger that I've been actually like reading her blogs since like 2005. Her name is Gala Darling, Gala Darling. And one of the things that she does is she does like manifestation work with her AI, So I really want to get into like that kind of stuff as well, like making sure that we even touch on that kind of stuff. So here I also want to touch on having dialogue with AI. I have conversations with it, and I know that I have to have a different conversation with it because it's an individual at the end of the day. Each of these open AIs is a completely different individual. This whole presentation, what I did was I had so much to say and I wrote it down, and so then I presented it to ChatGPT and I said, ChatGPT, can you make sure I cover all bases of this? And that's what is brought to you by this presentation right here. It started from having a conversation with the AI and saying, like, I really want to make sure that I'm thorough, that I can really teach people about this in a way that is holistic and doesn't leave people, really asking too many questions. Okay, so, and then the next thing that we're going to talk about is aspect ratio making the difference. So each time that you use a different aspect ratio on the AI, it actually produces very, very, very different, distinct results. And it's really amazing. It's very, very amazing. It changes if you want to make AI art, if you want to make landscape art. There's just so many different things. And it goes in the same way of creating a shot list. What angle do you want to work with? What perspective do you want to work with? Do you want to work from up here, bird's eye view? Do you want to work from here, or do you want a perspective shot, like a perspective like that. Bam, in the camera. Um, and the next thing that I want to do is I just want to open up for questions before we skedaddle out of here. Um, oh my God, good. I am so happy. Like I was just watching this whole time to make sure that I didn't forget. But if you have any questions, um, feel free to ask. And then what I also want to do is, while you're in the process of that, I want to go over um, these bad boys right here. Kasara Khan Hefa came out on March 10th, the new moon. And Qualia is coming out March 23rd. And then Please Help Yourself is going to be coming out March 25th. The full moon. Qualia is coming out on my birthday, my solar return. And then the 25th is the full moon. As you can see here, this required AI. So we got our AI workshops happening on Wednesdays of March. Next month, we will be having album cover designs on April Tuesdays. And then in May, we're going to have record B2B, business to business. So that's covering the distribution, the record producing, and everything like that. Not record producing, beat making, but actually producing records. Okay, there's a big difference between the two, and we'll definitely be exploring that. But yes, here we go. Okay, perfect. I think we're gonna like leave it at that one. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming out. I also want to give a shout out. Next time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring an Alchemist Aya, like one of the teas that you brought, like the Alchemist Aya teas. I gotta definitely, because the girls, they love their teas. I've been called to drink the ladies mantle tea as well. uh Alchemist Aya is a brilliant. The smokes, the teas, all of the amazing natural blends. I'm definitely going to bring that for my next workshop so I can like showcase and like put like a little sound bite together to do that. But thank you so much. I have so much love for you, Maya. Thank you so much for coming out. And thank you to Danny and Jungle Flower. You guys got your workshops, your replays set up. Thank you to everybody that is viewing this on YouTube and checking it out on YouTube and checking out the replay. I love you too. Love you so much. But yeah, for everybody checking out the replay, I'm really just grateful. I'm very excited to have all these workshops, getting the response that they're getting. It's teaching me, it is empowering me in a different way to kind of see, okay, so people like this, people work like this. And what's been really cool is people coming to me and saying, being very transparent, saying, oh, I don't have the time or capacity, I'm stuck with the kids, or I haven't been in emotional good space to attend, and reaching out to me for replays. That means a lot. And I want to sound clip this out just to like kind of like replay that for people. That means a lot to me. Just the love and the support of everybody like reaching out in the capacities of which that they can do so. It makes me very grateful. We're going to attend and do these workshops and do these videos regardless of attendance, because what's most important is getting the message out there, building, and also for me to develop practicing and to get in the groove of this, because at some point I do hope, instead of just doing 3 months of workshops, I'm gonna do workshops every week. And this is really about finding out which workshops to do, what really supports people, what really teaches people, what do people feel most called to. But Miigwech, thank you so much, Chi Miigwech. This has been very lovely. I have been writing down my hold on, my little affirmations and my love, writing it down, making sure that I'm being very deliberate and concise about this. But thank you so much. Love you. Gonna stop sharing this one right here. Okay, there we go. And we out of here. Deuces.